high priority junglers, of course. Graves is still available, Nidalee, Hecarim, Cloud9 has played that before. So I do think that we're probably going to get early jungle picks. It seems to be what people are heading towards these days, as generally speaking, there has been a lot of priority on counter picks, I think, in solo lanes. Feels like more this year than really ever. I can remember over the last couple of years in the LCS, you know, we're seeing all things like Jax into Camille and these sorts of matchups that people really do get a lot of additional pressure in. Graves, very popular pick, but hasn't been that successful in competitive play, at least in North America so far. It is a strong farmer, but I think people really struggle to actually transition those leads that they can sometimes get on Graves into a team fight advantage, into a game win. So we need to see EG be pairing this with, you know, engage from other roles. If you're going to go with Graves in the jungle, I think you need to bring either a tank top or jungle, you know, rather down in the bot lane for sure, to have some sort of form of heavy engage.
Well, the other side has responded with some powerful ranged capabilities. We got the Taliyah picked up, we got the Kaisa picked up. Remember that, I'll go ahead and say it this time, Azael, so you don't have to be the broken record. When we see Taliyah, we need to see point-and-click CC next to Taliyah to set her up for the seismic shove if she wants to succeed to the greatest capability. So the rest of the draft, I want to see that highlighted and focused here for Cloud9, as Evil Geniuses will pick up the Senna for themselves. And if they don't take the Kench here, it could be banned away in the second half, so they'll take that with it.
Yeah, I think the reason they can take the Kench is your point about Taliyah earlier. Guess what? You need to go with Taliyah. Point and click CC. Guess what Tahm Kench is good against? Point and click CC, right?
Yeah.
So I do think that you're kind of pre-countering what you're expecting them to go for. You know, if I'm over on Cloud9, I'm wanting a Leona or something like that to be able to really set up Blaber for success. But that means that Tahm Kench, you know, is going to be a good answer into that. Instead, they're going more for the lane counter here. This has become fairly common, actually, into Senna TK, is the Blitzcrank. Your ultimate is going to remove both the Senna ultimate shield as well as the Gray health. So that is the main reason people feel that this is an advantageous matchup for Blitzcrank. It's more about the post-6 than the pre-6. You can, of course, try to hook Tahm Kench in and really poke away at him, but that is more difficult because Tahm Kench is going to be the one farming and is going to get a lot tankier than he would otherwise be.
And honestly, breaking the shield with the ulti is great, and also the fact that just, you know, Tahm Kench's Devour is point-blank range. You have to be next to the guy to save him. If either the person you want to save or even just Kench gets pulled away, you can pull him, and then everybody else can focus a more important target. As long as Kench isn't right next to them, there's more playmaking opportunities for C9, and I love to see Blitzcrank bringing that big mechanical hand of justice to Tahm Kench's anti-fun style of League of Legends. So maybe Vulcan can hit some big pulls here this game, but we still got half of a draft to get through. So it's Shen banned away, it's Pantheon banned away. Now let's see how the last ones are going to shape out. Orianna taken out of the picture here, so one of those staple mid laners is once again removed. And what's the last ban here, Evil Geniuses? What's it going to be? You know the jungler, you know the bottom lane. Those solo lanes are going to be the problem, but which one matters more? It will be Cloud9, remember, on the red side that has the last pick of the draft. So that means that Evil Geniuses has to be able to shape these bans in a way that hopefully doesn't get them counterpicked here too hard. And your last ban is...
looking like nothing. Okay.
Syndra. Okay, it did look like nothing for a while. I was really hoping that it wasn't because you gotta ban something, man.
A good ban, yeah.
You gotta ban something.
It's generally not a good ban in my experience. So this should be a pretty interesting one. The Pantheon ban was a bit of a surprise to me because we already have a jungler selected. So they were clearly worried about a mid Pantheon, and with Taliyah going into the jungle, Blitz already down in that support role, that would have been the only place that he really realistically would have gone. And Fudge going to be going back to the Camille. This has been so popular for him. It feels like he's been going towards it, you know, all the time. He has also been answering in this matchup with the Jax. So will Impact have the confidence to take that into it? With Shen banned out, I mean, Shen is a great tank matchup into Camille. You can go Malphite if you want to have another tank into this. That is a pretty strong matchup. But the answer we've been seeing in the LCS is Jax. So to me, this feels like saying, all right, we don't think you'll do it. Or even if you will do it, you're not going to be good enough at it. And they've kind of called the bluff. And this, to me, is a bit of a concern. This is something that people used to do against Team Liquid. When Impact was on Team Liquid, they would blind pick GP, and Impact would self-counter with the tank. Because he would say, all right, that's what I'm going to play anyway. That's what I'm comfortable on, right? And that is a concern if teams are going to kind of call that bluff with Jax open, be able to blind pick Camille and say, you're not going to do it, so who cares? It does give you a draft advantage. They're able to go towards the Camille. The Galio comes through here as the final piece of the puzzle. So this already looks like a lot of attention is going to be put up towards that top lane. You've got Taliyah, Galio with the semi-globals. You have Camille with the setup there. And some pretty powerful engage, between that Camille Galio ultimate as well as the potential picks with the Blitzcrank. On the other side, it feels like it's all about team fighting. Ryze can go out in the side lane. Ryze is going to be the one that likely has to answer Camille later on, but there is the potential to be dove there. But their 5v5 is really strong. You have the Senna TK, high consistent damage, a lot of safety to try to pull you out of those Blitzcrank grabs or pull you out of any potential Camille engage. So I think both teams have their tools. A lot of this game to me is going to come down to how Impact and the rest of his team can withstand the storm that is going to be coming towards that top side.
The big thing that I'm worried for Evil Geniuses in this is engage. Because you have tools to get behind opponents. You have tools to try to go for a flank with things like a Ryze ulti or a Tahm Kench ulti. But when you look at actual CC, lock them down, this is the go button, here we go, it's Gragas. Yeah. And that's it. Nobody else can do that. And when you compare that to something like Camille going in or a Blitzcrank hook or Galio following up when somebody else is able to jump in, it doesn't seem very equally measured out between these two. So particularly for Impact, to add on to the importance you're already placing into this top lane, if he falls too far behind and Cloud9 gets an advantage, where's your engage mechanism?
Yeah, not much of one. At that point, you're really just looking to try to split push and have the Ryze make something happen, or maybe catch someone out with a Senna route or a Ryze route. But to your point, when you're arranged to do that, you're arranged to get Blitzcrank hooked or taunted by the Galio. It's incredibly scary to be going for those sorts of plays. So a lot of pressure on Impact. He does almost always perform when he is playing these tanks. Gragas, I would say, is probably like the most mechanically difficult tank, or at least one of them. There's probably something I'm overlooking that people are going to be like, you forgot about this. But the engages with the body slam flash and the placement of the ultimates is so critical, because it's one of these champions that not only does a bad ultimate not help you, it can actually lose you a fight, right? Because you can knock someone to safety as opposed to just not getting that damage out that you would want.
It's one of the few champions, and it's up there with stuff like Bard, where you can actively troll your team with poor decision-making. So you really hope you don't see it, but we'll see how this game shakes out here. Taking a look where junglers are starting. Opposite end of the map here, as early on we have a little bit of a skirmish here in bottom side, but everybody level 1. That won't turn into a whole lot here just yet. Both Graves and Taliyah are pretty adept at clearing through the jungle quickly and safely, so we'll see them likely end up on opposite sides of the map here as they continue on with doing that. Grasp for both top laners. Remember, we have seen both the AP-heavy Gragas and the tank-heavy Gragas so far in the LCS. Generally, if he's got Grasp, that means he's going to be a meatball. He's not trying to one-shot you. He's not trying to have those huge combos. It's just making sure he's frontline. And considering the rest of the comp, I like that choice.
Exactly. And he also knows that his role within this game is likely going to be able to be withstanding pressure. I talked about the fact that Cloud9 have such good setup toward that top lane. So if you go full AP Gragas, sweet, maybe you're going to make a montage outplay and, ult someone into a barrel and do the 360 no-scope. But then the rest of the game is likely going to be you getting one shot under your tower by Camille, Galio, and Taliyah. So probably not worthwhile. I think that the tank build makes more sense here. Also, looking down at this bot lane, I like how Deftly and Ignar are positioning, because unlike what we saw earlier against the Seraphine and Maokai, there is high engage potential here from C9, right? If you get hooked in as Deftly, you will die. That is why they were playing on top of each other constantly. Ignar either has to block the hook, or when they position close to the tower, you notice he then moves behind Deftly to grab him out of that hook. So pretty smart stuff early on here from the EG bot lane. You have to have Senna being able to position aggressively to farm those early souls, or you just will not get much out of the pick. And that's going to require good positioning from that duo.
Blaber up here in the top side of the map on the Taliyah. We know that Impact is pretty far back here underneath this turret. He's not in any danger just yet. Fudge will go back to base. He doesn't really get a great purchase. I mean, it's a null magic mantle and a refillable potion, and he's got the cookie from just the rune that he already had. So just taking the opportunity. Hey, man, the lane reset. You don't have to use your teleport to enter back into the lane. Blaber was hanging around just in case. They tried to hard shove it somehow, but Fudge can get back into lane no problem here.
Exactly, and that's the reason he's going for it. It's not about an amazing buy. It's about the fact that he's not going to be punished for it. If you can get the wave fully to your opponent's turret, especially early game, you just can't push it out fast enough as the opponent to really punish, right? He's already back to lane before the wave has even reached him. The null is also, I think, a pretty good buy here because it's an AP mid laner, and because he knows that likely, if he's splitting against someone in the late game, it's probably going to be the Ryze, right? Gragas becomes more about the team fight. Ryze wants to get out to the side lane. So it's going to be good early against Impact, and it's also going to be good late against Jiizuke. So I think it's a solid buy.
Impact with the slight level lead here now, considering he didn't choose to take a back when his opponent did. Fudge will have to catch up here a little bit. Nice pull from Vulcan, but the immediate devour from Ignar, making sure that Deftly doesn't tank too much damage, as Vulcan eats a lot on the back into that trade now, man.
It's good positioning from EG. Ignar is within range to quickly grab up Deftly before that trade really turns into much. And that is where you've got to be careful on the Blitzcrank side, is the return trade, right? You know, you hook Deftly, great. But then if Tahm Kench gets a slow on you, can actually chase you down, you can see some trouble had there. One thing I would also point out is Ignar is dead and that's why we see most players actually go for the Doran's Ring instead of the Doran's Shield start, because the mana costs are fairly high for Tahm Kench. A lot of players did go more towards Doran's Shield in the earlier days, but lately we've been seeing a lot of Doran's Ring, and I actually do think it's better overall. There's not a lot of poke coming up from a Tahm Kench lane.
Oh, but this is going to turn into a hell of a fight right now. Definitely going to take some damage, but Vulcan's the first one to drop. First blood over to Kench as Perkz flashes over the wall to make sure that they're getting something here. Now Evil Geniuses has a 3 versus 2, but they got to be careful about Perkz. Double kill over to him right here, right now. Perkz taking very low. Svenskeren going for a little bit more damage, but Perkz gets away in time. Now with Fudge and Blaber still hanging around, that means nothing else goes down. It's a 2-2 game, 6 minutes in.
I'd call that a win for EG, though, because Jiizuke did not have to come down. So he actually got to fully push in mid lane. Both the kills did go to Perkz, so we'll see what he can get done with that. But first blood goes to EG. They spend one less person down on this bot side to get it. You can see the initial play could have gone even better, but definitely snuck out a little bit to the left there. And Vulcan grabs him just barely past multiple members. If they couldn't land that hook, he maybe could have stayed alive longer and perhaps added to this fight, made it go even better for EG. But Blaber roaming down here means EG's time is done. They've got to back it up. But mid lane got pushed in by Jiizuke. Top lane is actually pushing towards Impact. So the waves in both the solo lanes are way better for EG. You know, you look at the farm discrepancy in the mid lane, that'll eliminate a lot of the added advantage of those kills for Perkz. And look at that monster wave top lane that is now arriving for Impact to farm up. All of that's going to go towards him, and he got a kill. So Impact is going to be hugely ahead in gold over Fudge, despite the fact that Fudge didn't really do anything wrong. He had no choice but to respond to that play, I think.
Right.
It just means that it was better preparation for EG. They are the ones who are going to come out on top, and you can see the gold showing that, right? 2 for 2 in kills, but you're well over 1,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, it feels great for Evil Geniuses right now to have that 24 CS lead. Remember, without cannon minions, there's 6 minions per wave, so it's 4 waves that Impact is ahead of Fudge here in this top lane. Fudge still only level 5, likely to hit 6 here very soon, but considering Impact is already 7, you are going to be feeling that one for a while, my friend.
Exactly. Experience is also another big point, as you say. You know, that has inherent value. The additional base stats that you're getting every time you do level up is worth a lot. We will see what EG can get done here. If either team wants to start up an early dragon, thus far not a lot of attention being paid towards it. It looks like EG is actually trying to set up a dive here on Fudge. He is still not 6, so they could go for that dive. He just hit 6 now, but they're actually going for the top lane dive. If we could get a shot of that, and it looks like Fudge will back off.
Well, Fudge gets away, but down here on the bottom side, it's Zven with only 200 HP left. As Vulcan goes over the wall, Blaber's coming in with the Weaver's Wall, and they're trying to get this play made. Ignar with the Devour, immediate spit out to safety, and then the flash follow to make sure he gets out too. Ignar is a fantastic Secret Service catfish.
That looks so funny. Just him spitting him over the wall and then flashing over and meeting him there. And a little bit of hot
I'll see you on the other side.
See you later. Getting out of there. Easy peasy. Nicely done by EG. The play top lane didn't amount to too much, but it did mean Fudge didn't get to pick up a lot of that farm. So, you know, that was off screen. We can see it. Here was the initial setup. Fudge got 6 right before the dive, I did see, and it looks like it just didn't amount to much. As Svenskeren took that early tower shot, and they just decide the threat is enough. They could see Galio roaming. That was on the minimap. Something that I missed while I was watching that bot lane play was Galio was actually moving up. Jiizuke was trying to trail him, but they weren't willing to risk it on that dive when they're already ahead and didn't need to go for that high variance play.
Svenskeren grabbing the Rift Herald here for the side of Evil Geniuses, looking to build that gold lead even further because, man, Isaac, this thing has some solid construction so far. Nearly 2,000 gold up for Evil Geniuses just 9 minutes into the game, still tied on the kills. Down there in the bottom lane, yes, the Tahm Kench doesn't have as much farm as the Kaisa, but it doesn't matter if bottom lane is a little bit behind because the solos, they just keep building these leads up better and better, and especially with a pick like you were talking about with this Ryze. This is your late game split pusher. It's not up to Meatball Impact to answer the Camille later on. It's up to Jiizuke, and we know what Ryze can do if he's allowed to scale freely.
Yeah, it's really problematic. Plus, a lot of your team fight also, right? You know, when you actually get out of the side lanes as Cloud9, you group up, you're sending Camille into the back line. You're sending Galio into the back line. If those are the two that are behind, it is a lot more difficult to actually pull off those fights. EG is here, potentially contest.
Vulcan goes for the pull, but the pull finds nothing. Svenskeren securing the Drake here for the side of Evil Geniuses. Oh. How does two souls pop out of the same critter?
You know, maybe it's like when all those kids are stacked up on each other's shoulders with like a trench coat on, you know, trying to buy liquor at the store. Maybe there's some little dragons wearing a big dragon suit and pretending.
It's like 3 salamanders wearing a trench coat and a top hat.
Got some little lizards in there. They're undercover. I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, that makes more sense than anything I could have thought of. So, hey, I'll take that. This is why you're the literal world champ. This is why you're the smart guy. I pose the question, you pose the answer.
Was that a smart answer?
No, that was a totally smart answer. I'm taking it. You got to run with it, man. Fake it till you make it. We're making it right now as Evil Geniuses is making this into a very nice early game for themselves. Total gold there on the left. It is Jiizuke topping the charts with Impact and Perkz and Svenskeren all right behind him. It's the Evil Geniuses jungler that is on par with the solo laners here this game, making sure he's doing what Graves does best and keeping that tempo high here in the jungle.
Yeah, has done a good job moving around the map, and that was just an ill-advised start. I think C9 didn't think there was going to be any response, but they started the dragon, and they had no smite, right? So that's why they kind of awkwardly walked away, and Svenskeren's like, oh, okay, sure, yeah, I'll take this, no problem. So does end up grabbing that for themselves. Some pressure down here on this bottom side. Definitely already out to 40 souls here, almost has that 1k gold for the support item completion, and they are trying to wrap around here for a potential dive. Perkz almost has his TP, so they've got to track this. Jiizuke has to stay up on him, but he's just going to take the tower in his face, and they're going to make the bot lane back off. So that is additional benefit of that earlier play where Jiizuke did not match. He got to get extra turret damage in with that push, so he's way up in gold at this point, despite the fact that Perkz actually has 2 kills. Jiizuke, I would guess, is 1,000 gold ahead at least with the CS advantage plus the tower.
Yeah, getting all the plates from that thing, man, he is feeling great there. Turbo Kim Tank also completed for Ignar. No Frostfire Gauntlet. I looked it up after last game and calling it the blue glove. So no Frostfire this time around. Instead going for the Kim Tank so he can just be as fast as he needs to be here in these fights, doing whatever he can, recognizing, hey, Impact's the only real engage mechanism, so I'm just going to have to pull one out of the Udyr book and run at him fast. But Ignar will be a scary frontline threat here as this Tahm Kench, making sure that it's so difficult to get past him, unless, of course, like you already mentioned, Blitzcrank can get a well-timed ulti to pop the thick skin.
And that can be really, really big. It's pretty much required, especially when you are behind. EG, you wouldn't have expected them to create such big advantages through laning, right? But it's 2-2, and they are way ahead as far as the gold does go at this point. They're a good 3,500 ahead of Cloud9 early on in this game, and that is scary because Cloud9 have side lanes that they can answer with. You can put the Ryze out of the side lane. They can 5v5 with this composition as well, so there's not some big inherent weakness that they actually have here to have created this early game lead. They've just simply played better, and Cloud9 committed a lot towards that bottom side play and didn't get much out of it.
Cloud9 now just continue to defend here in the bottom side. We have under 2 minutes before the next Drake spawns, but they haven't stopped the bleeding, Isaac. This wound just gets bigger and more severe as we move forward. 4,000 gold deficit. Back a few minutes ago, it was only 2,000, then 3,000, and it just keeps stacking up as Jiizuke goes for the flash over the wall, and Blaber, he wants to escape with the damage coming in. He gets away as the heroic entrance joins up. Jiizuke and Svenskeren in a real bad spot, and a beautiful punish from Cloud9. Evil Geniuses overplays their hand, and C9 is ready to respond.
Nicely done from Cloud9. They do get one back there. It does cost them a little, as Fudge was losing a wave there to the tower. and Impact just wasn't in position to actually answer, right? Had Impact been equal on that roam, I think the play was good. As Perkz ulted in there, Blaber ulted, you know, trying to get out as he's being jumped on, but Fudge was just so much quicker to the play. Now down on this bot side,
oh man, they are going in. Zven's going for the kill now, but they wisely fight it off, and look at the outplay here from Evil Geniuses. Teleports coming in from both sides, but it's Ignar arriving first. Vulcan eating a lot of damage here, trying to make his exit. Ignar still in hot pursuit. Gives them the lick, but they cannot stick. Here comes Svenskeren, he showed up, baby. Meet the shotgun with the click, click, boom! And Evil Geniuses responds.
EG coming from all angles there, collapsing on Cloud9, who tried to make that play, just barely coming up short, could not finish off Deftly, and so much damage was landed onto their bot lane here. As we watch it one more time, Ignar far enough behind, trying to create space here, then Ignar just body blocking for the hook the entire time. Vulcan could never find an angle to actually look for that. Deftly landing the damage across, gets the ulti there. Watch this ward here from Deftly. You know, they actually drop the ward, and he tries to use that ward to Q over the wall and hit Vulcan. Clever play, didn't quite work out, but with Impact arriving on the TP, Svenskeren above them, Jiizuke ulting in, the whole squad showing up from EG and punishing Cloud9 for that play.
4,500 gold lead, right back in the swing of things, man. It was Evil Geniuses that made the mistake in the enemy jungle. They get punished, they lose 1. But when Cloud9 makes a mistake in the bottom lane, overcommits, can't kill off Deftly, they end up losing 3. 4,000 gold lead, still ready to go. Fudge continuing to try to farm up here in this top lane, but when we're comparing split pushers, you're looking at 114 CS on Camille versus 168 at 16 minutes on this Ryze.
Plus, basically the full tower, right? He got that tower gold by himself in mid lane. No one else was there to actually split that with, so he's going to be even stronger than you would expect. And on the other side, the only man with kills on Cloud9 is Perkz, and he's gone for the Shurelya's battle song. So he has gone more towards utility, likely going to be a Zhonya's or something second. This is about playmaking. This is about engage, the speed up coming through. It can work if you can find people to pick off, but if it's just a straight up 5v5 where you kind of set your battle lines and go at each other, these types of items don't do as much straight up as some of the pure tank items, or even the more straight up AP items that we have seen him go towards. If I recall correctly, we saw him playing Night Harvester on Galio last time he did play it, so went for the more aggressive look, and this time it's about utility, so means they've got to be able to make these plays or they're just going to kind of get outstatted. You've got Blitz and a Shurelya's Galio. That's just not going to add as much passively in a fight as this Tahm Kench, who's full tank will, as this Ryze, who is really, really stacked already.
Svenskeren rotating over to the bottom side with the CC connecting onto Zven, and the ulti's coming through. They're using everything in the kitchen sink, going after the Cloud9 bottom lane. Galio makes his heroic entrance, but Zven is already dead. Vulcan's going to follow. Perkz having to run away here in a 1v4. Damage continues, piling on. They don't have enough, but Evil Geniuses have already won themselves a fight so far. Ignar's going to get interrupted right there, so they at least get something back. Fudge coming in, trying to save the day. But what's left to save, man? Half the team is already gone. Zven, Vulcan, Blaber, all down. Fudge is trying to get on out of here. Yes, Camille is very mobile. He will escape, but that is still a hugely favoring play for Evil Geniuses.
It is, and up on the top side, again, this is a play that Impact doesn't have to actually answer. He doesn't have his TP. He's whacking on that tower. We'll see if he even takes that for himself. He does. So bad goes to worse here as Zven caught out by Deftly. The ult over the top here. Ignar just going straight in, gets the 3 stacks, devours him back into the squad. And yes, a lot of damage is actually landed onto Ignar and Svenskeren, but Svenskeren has the shield bow, he's healing back up. Ignar has that gray health. Almost Tahm Kench ults out to safety. Blaber trying to come in and actually add some extra damage there, try to bail his team out, but all he ends up doing is going down again. And EG are running away with this game. 6,000 gold in the lead, 2 dragons to 0. You've got the better 5v5. You've got the better split push. You're controlling neutral objectives. They are dominating Cloud9.
And Perkz is so lucky in that situation. He walked away with what looked like probably sub 20 HP. Like, that's not the kind of thing that you can realistically plan around. Is, oh yes, I'll live through this with 15 health, no problem whatsoever. So very, very close to being even worse there for C9. The lead continues to grow. Evil Geniuses continues to control things and make aggressive plays. Svenskeren trying to run away, but he's stuck in the Hextech ultimatum. Teams coming in looking to keep him alive. Cloud9 committing, grabbing the kill. Shut down on the enemy jungler, but at what cost? It's 2 kills for C9, but it's about to be 3 here for EG. Let's see if they can get that third one. Yes, they will. Fudge falls over. Ignar takes the kill. And with only Perkz and Zven still standing, Evil Geniuses again win the fight.
It was a good job by Fudge getting that 1 kill over on Jiizuke, getting that shutdown for himself. He needs to get strong on this Camille. That is how their comp has to function here, has to be around picks. Svenskeren playing pretty cocky League of Legends, to be honest here. Very far into the opposing jungle, has the shield bow, but it's not enough. He goes down very quickly, and then Fudge just straight up deleting the mid laner from EG, taking down Jiizuke, but definitely untouched throughout all of this. It's just Deftly and his squad of tanks roaming through, keeping the Senna safe, playing a little protect the president there.
I mean, and the Senna, we're not seeing the Kraken Slayer Rageblade approach. This is the lethality Senna. So when he fires that massive railgun shot at the entirety of the team of Cloud9, that thing is going to hurt like crazy when that ulti shows up and the Dawning Shadow comes out. So definitely being provided this much protection is just showing some great signs here for Evil Geniuses, who are going after the Drake yet again. And Cloud9 says, hey man, we're way too far behind. This is not worth contesting. Yes, now their opponents have 3 and they have to answer all of them here in the future, but this one's just not an option.
Yeah, it's really not much they can do at this point. And one of the things that's always really nice about this lethality build is you get the early Umbleglaive and you have additional map control because you have more vision control, right? You want to play for the split push. We saw earlier today FlyQuest in their game. They got Licorice ahead, but they could never split. They never had vision for him. They've got pink wards in every inventory right now on the side of EG. They have incredibly strong solo laners, and being able to control vision is just going to let them do what they want.
Once again, Fudge with the engage, going after Svenskeren. He picks up the kill onto Fudge, but now we've got ourselves a 1-for-1. Perkz trying to get away, but he will be rooted down. Blaber eating a lot of damage, impact into the back line, needs one more hit, and he picks it up. Perkz goes into the stasis, but that's going to be a lovely golden tombstone for the C9 mid laner. Deftly grabs the kill, and it's another 3-for-1. EG take the fight.
And definitely 86 stacks now on this Senna. He is really, really strong. They're going to crack the inhibitor at this point. Knocking down that bottom inhib will make it so easy for them to take the Baron if they want to go for it. EG are just winning out on every single play. Yes, you killed off Svenskeren, but so much is having to be committed to knock down one EG member that it just means as the rest of the squad arrives from EG, every damn time they are running over this fight.
Man, let's see if Vulcan can make something happen here in mid, though. Going after Jiizuke and a nice kill. C9's bot lane duo. Vulcan dropped pretty low, but it's the kill onto Jiizuke that means so much here for these guys.
Yeah, that is big. I wonder if C9 just tried to go Baron. They're actually moving over towards it. They have got to go for a risky play. Is this a high percentage play? No. But what is their chance to win this game without that type of play? I think that even if you say this is a 10-15% chance of winning the game off this play, that's better than what their odds are right now. So they get to pick on Jiizuke. They are going for the win here, trying to play to win instead of avoiding a loss. Vulcan on an angle to flank, so is Fudge.
We got 2,000 HP left on the Baron. Vulcan going for the pull onto the enemy jungler, but now he has to run away. It's a Baron over for the side of C9 thanks to Blaber, and Deftly's going to be killed off now as Fudge enters into the fight. Evil Geniuses still trying to stick around and pick up something. Yes, they will get Blaber, but it's a 1-for-1 here as they've lost their AD carry. C9 are loving how this played out.
That is so big for Cloud9. That is the killer instinct you need to come back in a game like this. That is looking so doomed for Cloud9. Jiizuke, a little bit cocky in mid lane, just walks up, and Vulcan flash on him. Takes him down immediately. Then Vulcan over the wall, Hex flash onto Svenskeren, and then just straight up runs away. He knows they're not going to pick off Svenskeren there. The reason he does it is to pull Svenskeren away from the pit. What that hook did is eliminate the chance of a steal from the EG jungler, and that is such a smart heads-up play from Vulcan. Great pick mid lane, kills off Jiizuke. Great hook by the Baron Pit, denies the chance of a steal, and gives them another shot in this game. But they're still way behind, and they've got a long road to climb back.
It's just a coin flip where the coin can't land on tails. Easy peasy. You love Vulcan having a game, what's the word? We don't want to call it rigged, but set up properly like that to make sure that they can secure that. Now, bottom side, it's Fudge in some trouble as Impact goes in. Throws out the barrel, and Svenskeren's right behind. Beautiful ulti there, and Fudge is picked off. As soon as Cloud9 has the Baron, they immediately lose control over the overall state of the map even further by now finding themselves in a 4v5. Evil Geniuses has control. They've got the minion wave pushing up in mid, and it looks like they'll be doing all right here after they clear out some of these. I mistook those minions. That is not their minions. We got it. No, we got to answer those minions.
Yep, they're going to have to answer those. They will be pushing back towards their opponents, but they're setting up for the soul, right? That's really where they want to go now. You have two super tanks with the Gragas and the Tahm Kench both being pure tank. If you get Ocean Soul and Cloud9 is that far behind, there's just no world in which you can kill off that front line in any reasonable amount of time. So then really all EG has to do is just park your carries with the tanks in front, make sure that they're the only ones who can get hooked, and it pretty much becomes unlosable. So it's now all down to who can actually get this next dragon. Can Cloud9 hold on in this game? And they gave themselves a small shot by getting that pick mid lane and the Baron, but you can see they know they're still far behind. They're not really even able to leave their section of the map, even with the Baron buff.
Cloud9 fans in Blaber you trust, but it looks like they're not even going to give you the chance to trust in them. They're going in already. Evil Geniuses picks up 1 kill for free. They engage on Vulcan. That's a huge part of Cloud9 to be missing. Now there's no threat of the pulls any longer. CC down to Perkz. They follow up with the initiation onto him. Senna ulti across 3 health bars. Cloud9 in full retreat. Justice Punch ain't doing nothing. Svenskeren grabs the second kill, and with enemy, mid laner, and support out of the picture, Evil Geniuses is grabbing an Ocean Soul.
Yeah, they're going to get that Ocean Soul for themselves, and you can already see how tanky that front line is. It's going to be so much tougher now. As soon as Vulcan moves forward, they knew he had no flash because he committed it mid lane to get that kill on Jiizuke earlier. So they timed the flash, they just pop the chem tank there, run him down, and with him dying there wasn't much of a chance here. You can see Vulcan trying to stutter step, trying to make things happen, but body slam flash there. They knock him back into the team. His fate is sealed. Not really anything Cloud9 could do from this position, but they know if they lose Soul, the game's pretty much over, so they're trying to look for some sort of an outplay. But Fudge pushed back on the side by Jiizuke. That allows the rest of the team to go in for Perkz. Senna ult over top of these ridiculously tanky frontliners, keeping them alive, allows them to kill off Perkz, and they've got the Ocean Soul. And now it feels like only a matter of time unless Cloud9 can make some incredible plays. You've got to find hooks on the carries. I think that's the only way you will ever win this game now, is if you can hook in Deftly or Jiizuke and kill them off instantly.
Tahm Kench with the slow over the wall, trying to set things up here, and Vulcan is just knocked right back into the loving and waiting arms of Evil Geniuses. They don't have enough damage here just yet, but Jiizuke, man, he'll follow it up. This is what we were talking about at the start of the game, Azael. If Ryze gets time to just farm up, never has to rotate or do anything like that, just make sure he's putting all that money in his pockets. 271 farm. 27 minutes into the game. Absolutely crushing anybody that gets hit by these spells. And with Vulcan dead again, 0 and 6 on this Blitzcrank. Yes, he has 6 assists, but that's still so many deaths here in this game. Evil Geniuses continue their push in the 5v4. They've got Tahm Kench over in the mid lane. They don't even need him there, just going with the 4v4 instead. They won't find a whole lot of damage onto this tier 3 turret, but providing that pincer threat in 2 different lanes should make up for it.
Yeah, and having Tahm Kench over in the mid lane makes a lot of sense because if a fight breaks out, he will just ulti over to the team and be there almost immediately. You don't need a ward or a minion to TP to because he has that ultimate available. Jiizuke has just spent so much time farming, and it has really paid off here. He nearly has the Flame Horizon on Perkz. He's up a couple levels on a lot of the members over on Cloud9, and he's got to be approaching that death cap pretty soon here. He's got 9 stacks on the Darksteel. He's got a stopwatch. Blaber's going in, but he might just be dead.
Blaber lost half his HP. Jiizuke flashes away. Evil Genius is coming in for the counterattack. Yes, the Blast Cone is ready to go, but Perkz ain't ready to go into the Blast Cone. Now you got Zven coming around from the side, looking to find some sort of a counterattack, but he's down into the Baron pit, and now he's stuck. Fudge in some trouble, turning the fight right back around. Ignar with a good devour, keeping his jungler alive. Vulcan can't pick up anything as Jiizuke goes in for the 1v2, throws his spells out into Timbuktu, and the boy is dead. Make it a 3-for-1. EG still win the fight, but Cloud9 has Fudge and Zven alive on the map.
Yeah, they're actually sending the Tahm Kench to try to stop the bases here potentially while the other members push. But Ignar not confident he can actually do that, so will just be moving back towards his team here. The Baron is up, though, so they can actually go straight from this inhibitor tower over to the Baron and start it up if they want. They know Blaber has no ultimate and is still dead, so there's no way he can really make it here in time. Cloud9 are trying to find these picks, are trying to find angles to actually win the game instead of just slowly bleeding out, but it's just so damn hard when your opponents are just smacking you over the head with their wallet every single time.
And there you go, Evil Geniuses picking up the Baron here. That's going to bring the gold lead up to about just shy of 10,000 as EG secures the Red Bull Baron buff. They have 2 inhibitors still vulnerable in the enemy base. And let's take a look at the replay of how it all went down.
Yep, they were able to actually spot Jiizuke with that blue trinket, and they just go immediately for him. But Jiizuke has the ult coming out from Deftly to give him the shielding to help keep him alive. Blaber falls down, and they are able to start running over the fight. You can see, despite the fact that Svenskeren goes in, he's staying near the wall, so when Fudge ults him, Ignar can just gobble him up, break him right back to safety. Fudge and Zven did have a really nice turn here onto Jiizuke, who has, despite the big lead for himself, not gotten as much done as he might have expected because he has really, I think, possession pretty aggressively in a lot of these fights, looking for the 1v2, gets hit by the hook shot, his spells are sidestepped, and Cloud9 at least get 1 kill, but EG are a hair's breadth away from taking this game. 10k gold lead, Ocean Soul, Baron buff, they got it all.
Well, Fudge is coming around from the flank here with a TP, but Vulcan's already going to die as soon as the fight starts. It's like a broken record, man. Fudge is still tanking up here in the middle, but with the Senna ulti coming down, it is over. That's a nice bunch of golden statues y'all got there, but you know what you really wish you had? Probably a Nexus right about now. EG's moving in to take it. A triple kill for Jiizuke. Everybody but Zven is dead on the side of C9, and EG is making sure Cloud9's week 2 does not feel about like week 1. Zven doing what any of us would do in this situation, just trying to pad the stats a little bit. There is no 1v5 to be had, and the Evil Geniuses will put the first loss on Cloud9's record, 26-10.
And they didn't just beat him, they crushed him. EG, really impressive performance here today. They're looking really happy about that one, and rightfully so. I think this was maybe the best game of the split from EG thus far. Impact really solid up in that top lane. Didn't need the Jax, had the Gragas pick, was comfortable on it, but it was mostly about the map plays. EG just played the map better. We're getting more from these plays than Cloud9 was. Cloud9 trying to be proactive, looking to move around the map, make TP plays, make things happen. But while the actual fights themselves often went pretty even, they were losing out on the minion waves. They were losing out on the turret damage. And as a result, EG was just getting further and further and further ahead and really looked in control pretty much the entire time.
Yeah, all the conflicts had equal results, but equal results aren't equal results when the investment is so far apart. When Evil Geniuses always had extra resources, when there was always something else that they're just like, yeah, we don't even need to bother using that. All of that adds up and eventually translates into this gold lead that C9 could not fight back against. The Blitzcrank didn't end up paying off. Vulcan didn't have a lot of those huge game-changing pulls. He never got to bust Tahm Kench's shield very effectively on too many occasions. Most of the time, he was just getting picked off at the very onset of the fight, and there was no way for him to contribute to much of anything at all. And Perkz' supportive build on the Galio didn't work out too great when the rest of the team couldn't get their footing.
Yeah, no one to support. you're that force multiplier there, but everyone else is behind. Everyone is losing. So they kept going for these picks. They kept going for the aggressive plays, which you do like, but not much was coming through it. And I think that was really impressive from EG. You know, not much to criticize from them there, really, besides maybe a couple over-aggressive positionings from them. You know, Svenskeren on the invade dying and whatnot. But even when they died, they always got more back off of it because they were ready to back up their team and because they had such a strong gold lead. We were really seeing the power, I think, of this Senna Tahm Kench lane. It is just looking so damn good. Senna is able to get to 100+ souls, it feels like, pretty much every single game. And if you can get to that sort of level consistently, you're just ridiculously powerful.
Well, that's it here for game number 3, but don't y'all worry. There is more LCS action heading your way. We're only just a little bit past the halfway point here today. 2 more games still to come. We're going to a break here yet again, but once we are back, we will hear from Jiizuke in the Verizon post-game interview, so don't y'all go anywhere.